welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm really glad to have you. In today's video, I'm going to be rating all of my concealers. Going from drugstore to higher end, there's a good mix in there, under eye concealers to spot concealers. So if you would like to know my opinion, stick around. The first concealer I would like to mention is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. Mine is in the shade Fair. I've completely used this one up. I have given it a rating 4 out of 5. It is a very long wearing concealer. It could sometimes be a little bit drying underneath the eye area, so you need to make sure it's very well hydrated, or either on the day when you're applying the concealer, or hydrate it in the evening with your evening skincare routine. But I would totally recommend this concealer for someone who wants long wear. They have a nice shade range, and when it sets in place, it sets in place and it doesn't crease. So that was one of the things that surprised me about this concealer, and I was surprised that not a lot of people talk about this concealer. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for this one. The next concealer I want to talk about is the Bare Minerals Original Liquid Mineral Concealer. This one I used to use when I used to work for Bare Minerals on counter. I used to use this every single day. It lasted forever. It is super hydrating and liquidy. It feels really comfortable underneath the skin. It's a lightweight coverage, but it covers enough and it's quite brightening. So I would definitely recommend this concealer. This is not the right shade. This is slightly dark for me, so I've not used it, but I finished my previous one. I really love it. I would definitely repurchase once I am finished with my other concealer. And I have given this one 4 out of 5. If you're someone who struggles with drier skin, or you have some fine lines but you don't want anything too heavy or cakey underneath the eye, this is the Bare Minerals one, is a good one. Next one is a cult favorite. Everyone loves it, and for a good reason. It's a really good concealer. It is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Like the name suggests, it's a creamy, slightly radiant concealer. Again, very comfortable underneath the eye area. It doesn't really crease. It offers a good amount of coverage, but not too much. It doesn't look too drying or cakey. I would definitely recommend this one for anyone who doesn't really know what type of concealer to go for and just wants a one and done type of situation, that you know it will last, it won't really fade throughout the day, it will cover, it will brighten, it will feel comfortable, it won't crease. So really good one. This is again a little bit too dark for me, but it is absolutely finished, and I would definitely repurchase this one in the future. This one I have given 5 out of 5. So, you know, I love this one. Next one, I don't think it's very popular. It went viral on TikTok last year, so I went on a hunt and bought it. I kind of regret buying it, but it was very affordable. It's the W7 Oh So Sensitive Concealer. It is a nice liquidy formula, very liquidy. They don't have a great shade range. I think they only had 3 or 4 shades. The coverage is, I would say, medium. It doesn't really cover enough for me to recommend it. If you have bright under eyes already and you don't have too much darkness, you might enjoy this, but it barely does. It doesn't do too much. I feel like this color in particular, because you don't have a large choice of colors, this color in particular just exaggerated the darkness underneath my eyes and made it look a bit gray. I would just not waste my money on this one, even though it is affordable. I'm giving this one 2 out of 5 stars. Before I move into the next concealer, I'm wearing one of the concealers that I'm showing you today. So please let me know which one you think it is down in the comments below. I would love to see what you think about it, and if you think it's high-end, if you think it's affordable, and what you think it looks like, I guess. So yeah, let me know. I would love to see which one you think it is. I'll let you know at the end of the video, obviously. Okay, the next concealer we have is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer in the shade Cashmere 327. I will put the names of every concealer down below just in case I have forgotten to mention the colors. This one is a great concealer, another one that I have pretty much finished. There's just a little bit left. I bought this when I was a little bit more tan after my trip to Morocco, so I'm definitely not that shade now, so I can't get away with the color, but it is full coverage concealer, lasts a long time. It could be, again, a little bit on the drying side, so definitely make sure you prep your under eye area with some hydration, eye cream the night before or on the day, and you'll be set. I know a lot of makeup artists have this in their kit as well. It is slightly more affordable than a high-end concealer, but it performs, I would say, like high-end concealer. If you are worried about it looking heavy underneath the eye area, this one might not be for you, but it is full coverage, so have that in mind. The next concealer is another drugstore. It is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. This one is really nice consistency. It is very liquidy. It's high coverage, it's long lasting, it feels lightweight underneath the eye area. It doesn't feel too heavy. However, I would say that it creases a little bit more than my other concealers, and I don't like the shade range that they have. I feel like the shades run a little bit grayish and there's not much warmer tones like the ones that I love to go for that are light enough. But that being said, it is a lovely concealer, and if you are on a budget, this is one of the affordable ones and it performs very well. If you're looking for a high coverage, long wear concealer, this one is a good one. I'm rating this one 3 out of 5. I'm not sure if I rated the L'Oreal concealer, but I rate the L'Oreal 4 out of 5.
My hair's driving me mad, I'm warm. Next one.
Next one, we have a high-end concealer. It is another Bare Minerals concealer. This one is the Complexion Rescue in the shade Bisque. This one was an odd launch in my opinion. It is almost like a moussey texture concealer. Complexion Rescue is a range that my favorite tinted moisturizer is in. It's meant to go with the tinted moisturizer. They're meant to complement each other nicely, have a nice light coverage, brightening effect. I don't really understand why this was launched. If I'm being honest with you, it feels thick on first application. It doesn't provide any coverage, it just brightens the under eye area, but you could literally achieve that with a little bit of highlighter mixed in with your tinted moisturizer. I don't understand the purpose of this. Maybe again for someone who has no problems with their under eye area and they're actually quite bright and you just want to feel like you have something there to brighten and wake up the under eye area, but if you don't need coverage, maybe you will like this one. But it was a fail in my opinion, and I don't think people who buy concealers would buy this one, so I have rated this one 2 out of 5. I love the tinted moisturizer though, it's my go-to. Next one, we have the Maybelline Instant Age Eraser Concealer. I know a lot of people are familiar with this one. It's very popular. It normally has a sponge at the top, which is I believe why it's so popular, and it's a good consistency, but I removed the sponge because I want it to be hygienic and it kind of ruined the concealer for me, to be honest, so I regret removing the sponge. But this is another one that I don't really understand the hype around. I know so many people love it. My mum loves this concealer as well. I don't think it provides enough coverage. I like the texture of it, but I feel like I need to apply 2 layers to get enough coverage. I don't think it is the most flattering under the eye area. I feel like sometimes it could settle in little crevices and fine lines, so let me know what you think about this one. I have repurchased it many times because it's been recommended so many times, so I've repurchased it many times thinking, oh no, it's me, I'm the problem, it's my problem that I don't like this, but I don't think that's it because this is my 4th one that I've repurchased. I never finish them and I always give the leftover to my mum, who really enjoys it. So maybe it's just not for me. 3 out of 5 for me. Our next concealer is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. This one was advertised as a very high coverage concealer, a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape, even though I had never used Tarte Shape Tape and still haven't used it. It has that thick and chunky applicator. I have not finished it. I think it is too drying. It settles into fine lines. It looks chalky underneath the eye area, which is not my favorite, and I don't think anyone would enjoy that look. At least I wouldn't recommend it. I got it in the shade Light Sand, which was a little bit too light. I ended up using it as eye primer because it was so dry. It actually worked as an eye primer in my opinion. I have not tried their hydrating version. I know people love the hydrating version a bit more than this one, and it's quite hyped up, but I've been disappointed by a few e.l.f. products that have been hyped up, so I don't know if I should try it or if I should try Collection Lasting Perfection's Hydrating Concealer, which I've been eyeing because I used to love Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I used it for years religiously. It was absolutely my favorite, even when they had only 3 or 4 shades. So yeah, have you tried the hydrating version of the e.l.f. Camo Concealer? Let me know. This one is rating 2 out of 5. Our next concealer I used as a spot concealer. It is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the shade NC15. First of all, I love how tiny and satisfying the pot is. It's never broken. It has a very satisfying click, and I just love the feeling and the design of MAC packaging. There's something very sensory about them. Anyway, getting a bit sidetracked. This one is really good for spots. It is matte finish, extensive shade range. You can definitely find your shade. I wouldn't recommend it for under the eye. It provides enough coverage to cover spots but not make them look textured. I would consider repurchasing once I'm finished. I have had this one for many years now and I still haven't finished it because I get bored and I move on to a new thing and then I forget about it. But as soon as I'm finished with my Bare Minerals concealer, this one will go in my makeup bag so I can use it up. I would like it to have a tiny bit more coverage for anyone with acne prone skin and anyone who has acne at the moment. I used to have acne, I know how bad it is. They get dry, raised, angry, red, so they are quite hard to cover. So I wish this one had a tiny bit more coverage, but for anyone with normal breakouts, any little spots, I think this is a good one. I rate it 3 out of 5. Next one is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This one I was influenced by a makeup artist who was a colleague of mine at the time, and she recommended it to me. She said it's her holy grail for wedding makeup. She uses it underneath the eyes, on spots, everywhere, and it looks and photographs beautifully. So I had to buy it. I bought it in the shade Vanilla Light 2, which is sadly a little bit too pink for me, but I absolutely agree. This is my go-to concealer for spot correcting. It just erases the spot. It has a lovely creamy texture. It is also great for touch-ups. Let's say you're going out after work, you want to touch up your skin quickly, you don't want to apply foundation again. My manager at the time, again, this was her holy grail concealer and she used to use it as a touch-up tool and it was absolutely amazing. Looked buttery and soft on the skin. Definitely recommend this one. I would just say make sure you get the exact shade that you need. This one I have rated 4 out of 5. I think it's purely because of the shade. I love the texture of this. I just wish I had a better shade. And we have just 2 left. This concealer is my current favorite. It's the one I've been wearing for the past, I would say, a year now at this point, and I'm close to finishing it, but it is my Rare Beauty concealer in the shade 170W. This is a great concealer. I would recommend it to anyone if you're wanting to spend a little bit more money on a concealer and you're not looking for that full coverage, very glam concealer. If you're looking for an everyday concealer that still provides enough coverage and brightness and has a good shade range and it feels comfortable and hydrating but doesn't settle into fine lines, this is great. It's really good. I've been using this for a whole year every day. You need a tiny little bit. I love the packaging, and the applicator is a little triangle so we can really get into the corner of the eye here. I would definitely repurchase again. So I have rated this one 5 out of 5. And for our last concealer, we have the Vieve Modern Radiance Concealer. This one I was so excited for because I love Jamie Genevieve. I love her whole brand, the vibe of her brand. The packaging is absolutely stunning. I don't think this concealer is for me. It is, again, one of those slightly chunkier applicators. It gets quite messy, but the Rare Beauty one gets messy too. I just feel like the formula of this concealer is a little bit too thick for me, and it was quite hard to choose a shade online. I chose the shade Light 2, which again is slightly on the pinker side, very close to the NARS concealer, which is more pinky, and unfortunately it doesn't work for me underneath my eye area. I feel like it just makes them look a bit dull, and it creases on me as well. And I feel like it is down to the fact that it is so creamy and slightly more of a thicker texture. I have tried this all over my face and I absolutely love this all over. It gives a lovely amount of coverage on the face as a like a medium coverage foundation, I would say. A lovely glow, blends in lovely. It's just the wrong shade for me. Maybe if I had the lighter shade, I would like it a little bit more. I don't think I would repurchase it, even though it's so beautiful, and I really wish I loved this, but I love other products from the brand. So this one I'm rating 3.5 out of 5 because I'm not sure if it's a me problem or it's the product. It's probably a me problem, I don't know. I feel bad because I love Vieve. I love Vieve as a brand and Jamie Genevieve, and she's just glorious. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. So it's time to reveal which concealer I'm actually wearing today in this video. I am wearing the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. I've been testing it again for the last couple of days just to remind myself what I think about it. I tried it all over the face as well, and I loved it as a foundation application, but like I said, for the under eye area, it just creases on me very easily. It looks heavy and looks like I have applied a lot. I love the coverage of it. It's just, I just don't think I would use this on a day-to-day basis, but I will use it up because it is a good, affordable, high coverage concealer. And yeah, this concludes this video of me rating all my concealers that I have in my collection. Let me know what you think down below. Did I mention any of your favorites or any of your fails? Let me know in the comments if I should give them another try. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me and continuing to show me support. If you want to support my channel, you can like this video, you can subscribe to the channel, it really helps out, or comment down below any of your thoughts or recommendations that you might have. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week.